at stuff flying through the air? That was a tree. There's another tree. Look at that. Lift stuff up. Now, the next day, there was another tornado. This one was in Colorado. Now, here's why I want to show you this one, because this one looks very different. It happened in a place that's super dry. It's dusty. So it started picking up all this dust. And it looks like a huge dust storm. Not only does it look like a huge dust storm, it's a different color. It turns like this tannish brownish color because that's the color of the dust. Tornadoes, they turn the color of whatever they're sucking up. So if they're sucking up a lot of leaves, it may look a little green. If the dirt is red, it'll look red. This video is also being recorded by a crazy storm chaser. And he's going to start driving toward the tornado. Do not try this at home. Okay, all right. Okay, good. But now, no one gets hurt. No one gets picked up. But there he goes. As he's heading towards it, the tornado is going to get bigger, wider. There he goes. He's so crazy. Super crazy. Like 10 out of 10 crazy. 100%. Look at this thing. Look how big it is. I know this is way too close. You should never be this close to a tornado. Look at that. Oh, wait. He gets even closer. I know. Do you see all that? It looks like a movie, doesn't it? Look at all that. All that dust. You can't even see the tornado inside. There's so much dust. He's almost right underneath it. All right, here he goes. You see the lightning back there, too? You see that brown color? That's the dust that it's picking up. There it goes.
There's no cows flying.
Look at that. Isn't that crazy? Super, super dangerous. Don't try this at home. Look at this. Oh! Okay, so this one is really cool because this is the thunderstorm that's about to make a tornado, okay? Now, this video was recorded for like 30 minutes, and then they made it go super fast. So we get to see the whole tornado in like 20 seconds. And what I want you to watch, that it's not just a tornado that's spinning, this whole cloud is spinning. A thunderstorm that makes a tornado, the whole thing is spinning. The tornado is just the very bottom of a huge spinning thunderstorm. You ready? All right, here he goes. Watch right there. Remember, this is fast motion. It's super fast. It's sped up. Look at that. You see it? Want to see it one more time? All right, here he goes. Here he goes right there. You see how the whole thing is spinning? Now, hey, did you notice that we can see all these? Because so tornadoes come from thunderstorms, and thunderstorms have rain. But there is no rain around a tornado. Why? Because rain falls in which direction? And the air in a tornado goes up. So it doesn't rain around tornadoes. Because the tornado, where the tornado is, all the air is moving up. It rains next to the tornado where the rain is going back down. Now, tornadoes don't just happen on land. They can also happen on water. And when they do, they're called waterspouts. And here's what they look like. We get these around Tampa all the time. You can get them here. You guys have a lot of lakes around here? You can get them on a lake. So this is what they look like now. They are not like real strong tornadoes, okay? So these don't even need a thunderstorm. And they usually have winds of like 30 or 40 miles an hour. Okay? So they're not going to pick you up. They're not going to do damage. But you still want to get away from these because if you were in a boat, like a little tiny boat, they could flip the boat. So you've got to stay away from these guys. They happen a lot in the Florida Keys. And then they also happen a lot in the Great Lakes. But you guys have a lot of lakes here in Polk County, and they will form out of lakes. They can form. That's what they look like. You can get 2 of them. You can get 3 of them. The most I've ever seen was 5 in one spot. You want to see one more type of tornado? What about a fire tornado? That is awesome right there. That is awesome. Look at that. Look at that. That is a fire tornado. There you go. It's about to grow bigger. Now these guys are smart. They're back away.
Out of here.
It's made out of fire. He's running. He's running. Look at it go. Is that crazy? Alright, I'm going to show you one more fire tornado. This one's from Australia, all the way down on the other side of the earth. You see it right there? Just kind of watch it. This one kind of builds. And this one actually starts totally being made out of fire. This is some of the best fire tornado video I've ever seen. Here's what they are. Fire tornadoes, just like water spouts, are not real tornadoes, okay? You're not going to be walking down the street and suddenly run into a fire tornado, okay? They're not going to happen in your neighborhood. These things happen where there's a big tree, like a forest fire, or a grass fire. So they have to happen in the middle of nowhere. So they're not going to happen near your house. They're not going to happen near your school. They're not going to happen anywhere around here. But Florida does have a wildfire season, and that's April and May. And Florida can get fire tornadoes. You see this thing? You see this? Look at it. So, these things, isn't that crazy? These things stay over the fire. So in order to see it, you would have to be very close to the fire. You're not going to be close to the fire because the fire won't happen here. So you'll probably never see one. If they try to get away from the fire, they lose the heat, and it's the heat that makes them strong, and they just disappear. You can actually get rid of these. If you put out the fire, you stop the tornado. So there is a way to stop. In that first video that you saw with those guys, those were firefighters. They were going to put that fire out, and I was going to kill the tornado. You see this one? This one just keeps going. There is no firefighters here because this tornado is like in the middle of the desert. There's nothing there, so they don't even have water to put it out. But you see, it just keeps going and going and going. All right, we'll end on this. What to do if there is a tornado? We're going to use the word duck. D-U-C-K. Not like quack quack duck, but like get down and duck. You guys do a tornado drill here? Good. Show me. What do you do? What do you do? Duck and cover. Duck and cover. Everybody, duck and cover. Tornado's coming. All right. Good. All right, everybody else. Good. So, you guys know exactly what to do. Here's what we're going to do. What's the first letter in duck? D. D stands for down. Get as low as you can. So if your house has 2 floors, down. If you have a basement, down in the basement. The lowest point you can get to. Second letter in duck. U. U stands for under. Get under something. A table, cover up with a blanket. A towel, cover up, get under something. Okay, tricky. Third letter in duck. C. C stands for center, in the middle of that building, the middle of your house. And the last letter in duck, K. Keep away from Keep away from windows because windows are made out of glass and glass can break. So, in your house, the safest place to be may be a closet, no windows, it's small, it's in the middle, a bathroom, or a hallway. If your house has a bathroom, and in the bathroom there is a tub, you can get inside the tub. Now, we're not bringing Mr. Bubbles with us, we're not taking a bubble bath. You get in that tub, and you get in your duck and cover position. And when you do, that bathtub turns into like a little shell around you. You become a little tub turtle. And you are nice and safe in there until the storm goes by. That is the safest place to be. Because think about it. When was the last time you went home and your mom or dad were like, hey, can you go move the tub? They don't do that. The tub doesn't move. The tub is stuck. It's one of those parts of your house. If it's there, it's there. I mean, if you want to move that tub, people are going to have to come in with like hammers and stuff, and you really have to work to move a tub. So that tub is a super safe place. Anytime there's a storm and you don't feel safe, you look out the window and it just starts looking a little weird out there, it's okay to go to that safe place, bring a book, bring your phone, bring an iPad, whatever you got, and you can spend a few minutes in there, and that will be the safest place to be. Okay? We have time for some questions? All right, who's got some questions for me? All right, start right there. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Uh-oh. So here's the deal with cars. Cars will protect you from rain, and cars can protect you from lightning as long as you're not touching anything metal inside, okay? But other than that, cars are not a safe place for hail, tornadoes, or hurricanes. You have to get inside for those. And even in a thunderstorm where there's a lot of lightning, I would really prefer that you get into a house, okay? Unless you absolutely have no other place to be. I did not forget to do tsunamis. Tsunamis, good question, are not caused by the weather. Tsunamis are caused by earthquakes. You've got to get a geologist to come and visit you to tell you all about tsunamis. I mean, I can tell you about them too, but I don't have any fun to do that. Okay, what's your question? So anybody know how a tsunami forms? So there's an earthquake under the ocean. The ocean floor moves, and if one of them goes up, it pushes the water up, and then the wave starts to travel away from the earthquake. And the difference between a tsunami and storm surge, which is what I showed you, storm surge happens in a storm. Like the weather is going to be bad. A tsunami, because it's caused by an earthquake, and storms don't cause earthquakes, it can happen on a sunny day. But good news, you don't live near the ocean, so there would never be a tsunami here. You have to be in like a coastal location. You guys are Hawaii, yes. Hawaii, actually, there's cool video if you go with your parents on YouTube and you search Alaska tsunami and Hawaii tsunami, there's video. And of course, there's the big tsunami that happened in Indonesia. There was a big earthquake, was it 2004? You guys know better than me, probably. That caused a huge tsunami. Yes? Yeah. So Haiti is one of those places. Haiti is it's kind of a dangerous place to live because they're an island that has mountains, and they're in the path of hurricanes. And then, like Irma and Maria both pass close to Haiti, and then they get earthquakes. So Haiti gets earthquakes and hurricanes. They can get some big waves and flooding and all kinds of crazy stuff. It's a very, very, very dangerous place to live. Yes? Uh-huh. never have enough bathtubs. If you've got extra bathtubs, bring them with you. But here's the deal. Whatever you bring with you to the tub, you can't spend like 30 minutes, looking for it. A tornado warning gives you like 5 minutes, maybe 10. So basically, you've got to grab something and go. Way in the back.
Demetrius.
What happens can fire tornadoes happen in the water because when volcanoes are erupted in the water and it causes fire tornadoes?
You're really thinking, aren't you? Okay, so technically, if there's a volcano in the middle of the water, I have seen fire tornadoes happen around a volcano. And if the volcano does pop out of the water, then you could technically get a fire tornado over water.
Good job, Demetrius.
You should be a future scientist. Okay? Now guess what? If there's a tornado and it goes over the water, and there's a school of sharks that's swimming by, and the tornado starts to pick up the sharks, it becomes a sharknado.
You're waiting on that.
A sharknado totally happens. It's totally possible. It's possible.
Did you ever watch the other one? Yes.
The one thing you're going to remember from tonight.
That's what she was afraid of.
All right, you are our sunshine. You have a question? You? Hold on, guys. I can't hear her. Hold on. Thank you. It did.
Not you.
Wow. Yeah, Hurricane Maria. So Irma came close to Puerto Rico. Maria went right through Puerto Rico. And if you guys know anyone there, they still don't have power. Like it was like what Irma was to other islands. Maria was like to Puerto Rico. Hurricanes can do a lot of damage, and it's going to take a long time to put the power back on and to build everything again. Yes. A lava wave? How do you survive a lava wave? I don't know. Did you survive? Oh. See, lava is super hot. Like the problem with lava, it can burn stuff. So thank goodness, lava waves are super rare. And there are no volcanoes anywhere in Florida other than at Universal Studios. And those volcanoes are super safe.
We got a question right here, Greg.
Okay.
Speak up, baby.
Do you know what cumulonimbus is?
Cumulonimbus? Yeah, cumulonimbus are thunderstorm clouds. So cumulonimbus clouds are really tall thunderstorm clouds. And they are so tall that in a cumulonimbus cloud, you get every other cloud type. From cumulus on the bottom to stratus a little higher up. And the very top of a cumulonimbus cloud is so high up, it's made out of ice. And it's made up of cirrus. Cirrus clouds or ice clouds. So a big cumulonimbus cloud, a thunderstorm cloud, has all the other cloud types in it. Awesome, yeah. That's the way to put it out. Put out the fire. Yes. Does a shark tornado look like a shark? No. So the reason there can be a shark tornado is because there have been stories, and this has actually happened. There's been tornadoes in Kansas who have passed over a fish hatchery. It's a lake where there's fish that they grow so we can eat them. Well, when the tornado went over the fish hatchery, it started picking up the fish. And in the next town over, guess what fell out of the sky? Fish. It was a fish-nado. And then, if you don't clean up those fish real fast, it becomes a big stinky mess. Ew.
Alright, just a few more questions, guys. It's almost time up.
Hold on, guys. Nice and quiet, please. hear.
I saw it broken by That's right.
What did you see?
I saw a roof.
A roof that was broken by Irma? Yeah, Irma's winds were really strong, and there were some places in my neighborhood. There was a tree that fell on a house, and it almost cut the house in half. It was a big old tree, and it just went, and it fell right on the house. Right, yeah, so if your house gets hit by a tornado, you could lose shelter. You'd have to go stay somewhere else. Hold on, let me get one more thing. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Good, good. So that the window wouldn't break, right? Yeah, good job, good job. Yeah, so when a tornado forms, and the reason you get that spin in that circle, you get really, to get a tornado, you need hot, humid air to crash into cold, dry air. We have a lot of hot and humid in Florida. Where don't we get a lot of cold and dry? We don't get a lot of cold air here. I know it felt to you like it was cold earlier this week. It needs to be like cold enough to snow cold. And we don't really get a lot of that, so we don't get a lot of tornadoes. And even if we do get a tornado, they're not very strong because we just don't have all the right ingredients. Yes. I'm sorry? A chocolate wave. How would you get a chocolate wave? That sounds delicious. I would definitely survive a chocolate wave by eating it. I would bring marshmallows and cookies and all kinds of stuff and just throw it in the chocolate wave. I think that may be a good place to stop.
Give me a chocolate,
Hey guys, class attention please.